Yo, what's up, guys? Another game of Deadlock over here, but this time on Infernus. I've always really liked Infernus. He's a good time. I've always preferred Wraith, but Infernus, especially right now, seems to be very strong. Yeah, so we're going into lane with looks like Bebop and Wraith with a Mina on our team here, and this whole game our Mina's really solid. Honestly. Her and me are fairly even on stats most of the game, so we kind of both do pretty well here. But without spoiling anything, we'll just see what happens. So I'm going a little too aggressive on this Bebop and let him get a bomb stack early, but I'm really trying to get my poke on him since he's, you know, a giant refrigerator. I can pretty reliably shoot him. So it's kind of my thinking here, but I realize I'm really starting to need to reprioritize minions. I wasn't really paying attention. So I'm going to definitely want to keep this lane shoved. Yeah, nothing too crazy at the start of the game here. So the build I'm running today, which I'll link in the description and I should be having pop up right now, is actually Metro's build. I mentioned in the past I really like a lot of Metro's builds. I usually change them up a bit, but I just saw this one he came out with. It's specifically a build that you're not supposed to just go and farm half the game on Infernus, which I really like, because I definitely, most of the time I play Infernus, I just disappear for half the game and then I eventually show up out of the jungle with 50k souls and every item in the game. But this time I was able to fight a lot more, so this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this build and I highly recommend it. As of this moment, I've only played it a couple times, so I don't have any recommendations for what to change. But I liked it so far. So Armina's getting really low here, so I'm seeing if I can zone the Bebop off. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, so they're pretty much even, slightly ahead of us on souls. I'm going back to buy real quick since I haven't bought yet. Looks like Swift's, yeah, rapid rounds first. I'm not sure if I ended up missing any. I think I missed a couple souls right there because I was too long on the boxing. That's alright, nothing too detrimental. So I'm just doing my best to try to keep poking them and make them not want to just play out in the lane so that I can always threaten to get the afterburn on him. So now he has hook. So I'm really trying not to get hooked, but I'm really trying to bait him in so I can get an afterburn on him, but not quite there. So I hear him right behind me. I should have kept rolling, but also I kind of I figured I'd come out on top on this exchange, but unfortunately I don't because I never proc the afterburn somehow. I think if I ended up proccing the afterburn, I would have come out on top from that trade, but it is what it is. Yeah, Armina is getting pretty aggressive here. Unfortunately, I think she gets taken out here. Yeah, she gets taken out, but thankfully she gets back pretty quickly, and we don't end up losing lane or anything. I kind of go for kind of a dumb play there. I usually like to use Infernus's 2 as just poke in lane because it does a stupid amount of damage early game, and so I usually just try to run through them and get a lot of damage with it, but since he got the bomb stack too, it was not exactly a good trade. And since I was alone in lane, that was also not very smart. But thankfully not punished too hard for it since we're able to get the healing right and the extra regen to try to catch up since we're taking a lot of poke here. Alright, so Armina's able to find an opportunity to get the Bebop. Right when he gets ult too, so that was actually really nice timing by Armina. Yeah, Armina's actually kind of bullying the hell out of them. Go for the parry and Mina gets her anyways, so yeah, Armina's doing work. Able to dodge the Guardian hits. So he finishes off our minions and goes for the ult. I was double checking that they didn't have the camp up. So I went with extended mag here. So if you follow the build left to right, then you end up wanting to save money for 2 1600 items, but I usually like to buy a lot of items early. I try not to just save for items, so I don't know if it's a lot better to save for them, but I just wanted to use my money, and since I kept running out of ammo. So this was a good hook and then a good follow-up by the Wraith, so I end up getting absolutely domed. It was quite unfortunate. Armina's still holding it down. So somehow I ended up getting fairly far behind on farm. I didn't notice, but yeah, I'm sitting at 3.8k. And everyone else is almost at 5k, so... Oh. Didn't realize I came back. Alright. Yeah, so at this moment is when I realized I was way farther behind in lane than I should have been. And so I will go ahead and start trying to really catch up a bit. Now, the lane is crashing right now, so honestly, this is a bit of a mistake by not being with it, but I figured for the camp, it was fine since I had my 2 up. And also, it's not the end of the world to let Mina just get a full wave or 2 by herself so that she's getting the full souls from it and not splitting. So it looks like they're going for the Mina for a sec. I'm just doing my best to poke in. And then I hear the Wraith come up behind me, so I try to get out. Yeah, I figured that he would come in for me. So I went ahead and just popped the ult. Armina is able to get in there and get the Wraith and punish her, which was huge. Because I was in slightly sketchy place. I thought I was fine, and thankfully it ended up working out. But I think if Mina didn't come in and just absolutely dome the Wraith, I don't know if I would have. I think I would have died. But just trying to pull the wave up. Armina ends up just 1v2ing basically, whiffing a lot of my shots early, which is not ideal. Go for the parry. Yeah, she's doing a lot of work, but since Armina's close and the Wraith is half, I figured we could get it. She knows. And Bebop comes back. I'm trying to give it the old serpentine. I get really lucky here that the hook gets caught on that, or else I was probably dead for sure. And then another kill on the Wraith. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. This early game, this whole lane was carried by this Mina. Let me shout out to Smorf Jebediah, something like that. Yeah, Smorf Jebediah. Yeah, he did work. So since we've pushed up the lane a bit and now the Sinners have spawned, I'm going to go ahead and steal their Sinners ASAP. I am going to take them off the mini-map and show what I actually can see. Which should be, I think, F1. Yeah, I think I have it. We'll see if when someone goes back. So I'm really not one to tank another hook, but then I also see that their Bebop was low, but she gets him anyways. So again, Mina just carrying the ever-living out of this lane. I ain't complaining. There we go. Okay, I fixed the map. So again, since this lane's been pushed up for a bit, I figured I can probably steal their main Sinners, their double Sinners. And since our middle lane was being pushed a bit, or at least, you know, it seemed like the Guardian was kind of low, I figured it was likely that whoever was laning in mid wouldn't come in jungle at that moment, because they probably would want to get the Guardian. So I figured I was fairly safe to do this, even though it's definitely a little scary. I feel like as long as someone's not running slow hex early, then Infernus is fairly safe to steal stuff with, because he's really good solo, and his 2 is really good. So great timing on being able to grab the survival buff. So again, just stealing every one of their Sinners, so this was a huge swing early game. Now, this is a little greedy for me to use my flame dash here instead of holding it for if someone pushes me, but at that point I figured most of them had been showing around the map, so I was probably safe. And it does kill camps really fast. Yeah, so in the early part of the build, going left to right, in theory, you want to go improve Spirit into the shielding. Yeah, I don't know what Wraith was doing here, but she just came downstairs and didn't want to really fight. Didn't really want to do much, so I don't know if she was maybe in her menu about to buy something or what, but we were able to get a nice kill on her. And at that point, she was 3k souls down. We're able to follow up with Mina here and kill the Bebop, and then into another Sinners. Yeah, so what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by killing Wraith was, yeah, so normally left to right, like the second and third item is improved Spirit and Spirit Shielding. I don't know if it's intended that you should rush those. Maybe they're really good, but like I said, I just grabbed the cheaper items first. And then I went into Toxic Bullets here. So essentially what this build does is he ends up building into Burst Fire so that you can proc Toxic Bullets and pretty much your Afterburn really fast. So like towards mid game, you pretty much instantly apply it to someone. You just start shooting them and then you get the increased attack speed from Burst Fire. And it does a lot. It's really nice. It's definitely a really good synergy, and just all the synergy works really well with Infernus anyways. So right there, both Shiv and Bebop are still showing on the far right lane. So I figured I was safe to at least steal some of their easier minions there. So again, just really trying to starve them as best I can. And since I'm on my side of the jungle, I'm pretty happy with being able to just do some damage here. Now I do throw by not defending my Guardian here. I really should have. So that was a misplay. Then I see Mina's fighting, and I'm kind of taking my time getting to the fight here. So they're looking to follow up on this Bebop. Able to get him. Of course, his thing drops in a really awkward place, but I'm going to go try to help the Mina, but again, I was taking my time, so I'm sorry, Mina. She was there for me, and I wasn't there for her multiple times. Seeing if I can get an Afterburn on this guy, but not quite. And by now, our wave has really pushed far, so... So I awkwardly just sit here and try to get this. Finally get it. Yeah, so I definitely should have been here for the Guardian. It was not a good idea for me to just greed the jungle creeps for that. Normally I wouldn't, but I kind of threw a bit there. So again, the Flame Dash is just so good for these camps. You could definitely argue that it's not good to use it for camps because you want to keep it for if anyone's roaming and looking for ganks. But so far, I'm fairly rich. Now I've hit 15k, so I am, yeah, richest in the lobby. And I've been making sure to go spend fairly often. Now, granted, I'm sitting on 5.7k right now, so I really got to be careful. But since Mina's here, I'm really not scared because she's also fairly rich and she's shown herself to be really good. So anytime she's around, I know I can probably get away with a lot. So I see the other Sinners comes back up again. We just both hit it, and then I get super lucky that while I was punching, it pops up. So I'm sitting on a big bag here. This is slightly sketch, but I stay for the fight since again Mina's here. I'm just whiffing like crazy. And then Wraith comes in and stuns me, but thankfully she decides not to push. Yeah, she's just so far down. And so I come in and try to start spending my money because I know they're hovering. Now, I probably should have just gotten away. So I'm going to end up going down here. Yeah, Abrams follows up. So I wasn't expecting them to push across. I really should have. I should have just immediately hit the teleporter or gone another way. But I was able to spend some of my money, which is nice. And so we didn't have flex slots, so I wasn't able to spend as much money as I was hoping when I went to the shop to try to spend. But so I ended up upgrading to Titanic Mag. That's actually not in the build, but I just wanted to spend money. Went ahead and picked up Spirit Lifesteal into Burst Fire. So now we're pretty much almost online for our mid-game spike. Which this is, like I said, I really like this build that Metro put together. It's you do a lot of work really fast. So like, whereas normally I usually run the two builds I normally run is Average Jonas's Dash Furnace or Tank Furnace, which are both great builds and a lot of fun. I'm usually pretty happy with them, but definitely they lean more on the just farm, you know, which is also just tends to be my playstyle. But this one, knowing that he built it more as a mid-game spike build, I felt a lot more confident to fight mid-game and just roam a little bit. So I ended up seeing there was a bit of a fight going on, so I'm trying to finish off this Wraith here. I jumped right at the end there just in case she tried to juke me, because I have definitely seen people drop and then jump up. So I'm just whiffing like crazy over here, and then I realized I should probably just walk over. Yeah. End up stealing a huge bag there from McGinnis. Alright, so I'm looking to start trying to push some of these lanes if I can. But also being aware that now I'm holding a big bag and there's a Bebop sitting around. So... And then I'm looking at the mini-map and realizing my team is backed off, so it's not a good place to be. I'm just trying to steal some camps here, or take. Then I see 3 Sinners are up over here, so I'm wanting to go and grief their Sinners. So my thinking was there was a lot of people hovering here, so worst case I would just hit it a couple times. Yeah, I actually messed up my timing there, but I was also fine with just taking it and not letting them have it. Since I really didn't want to stick around there longer than I needed to. But again, I'm really not wanting to sit here and try to poke Bebop, because if I get hooked, he's usually roaming with people. And then I realized their Shiv was running Urn. I hadn't noticed that before, so I would go ahead and start moving over since most of my team is kind of playing for it. I see they're about to run into a fight here. They end up picking up the Grey Talon. And then Bebop's doing Bebop things. So I light him up, but I realize he's about to get his line up. And so I come back, repoke, rinse and repeat just a couple times. Yeah, at this point he's taking a ton of damage, and he's dead. Alright, now looking at Shiv. I know the Shiv is still slightly scary, just because it's Shiv. Need to reload, but just trying to get some slides in. So I figured he was probably going to go for the jump, and then I missed him. But it could have been a great play. I could have easily gotten the kill if I was paying more attention. I had the right idea, but it just didn't work out. So I'm really wanting to get the start on him since he's fighting. So I was able to get Toxic Bullets on to get the healing reduction to help out whoever was fighting him, but I'm really so low. I need to get out of there, especially since Talon has ult. So I went ahead and upgraded and bought Leech now. So now I am pretty much online. Like, I'm pretty scary just roaming the map everywhere. Yeah, the burst fire, just the fire rate when you start hitting the hero is insane. Alright, so I'm trying to chase some people down. Wraith goes ahead and TP's out. Mina is, of course, doing her thing. But I'm not really wanting to go and possibly get hooked into Walker, so I'm really trying to be very aware of not giving up a simple kill to Bebop. I see a movement buff, or the bridge buffs come up, so I'm going to go grab movement because I actually, since I'm roaming a lot, I don't mind. Normally I don't really care that much about it, but since I actually am playing pretty, like I'm looking for fights, which I don't normally do on Infernus, except for late game, then it's definitely worth grabbing the movement buff here. but I also see the Sinners is up and our Victor is pushing far left. So I'm going to see if I can probably double back over to help him out. Especially since I see the Talon is kind of lagging behind a little, I can probably get an angle on him. And then I come up behind him and I'm able to find that angle, get the afterburns and the toxic bullets. And then able to finish Talon. And then I almost go down to these turrets, which is absolute insanity. So I'm fully backing up for a second. I know Victor will be mostly fine. His ult did get used up. So I'm just kind of re-engaging. I see the McGinnis full sending it. She used 2 stacks, or 2 stamina there. So I know she's probably able to die, and she does. Not sure why she wanted to full send the Victor so hard, but I think she didn't realize I had come back. So at this point, I'm at the point to where you can just about proc afterburn, and then the medium camps or creeps will die. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting really close. So I'm hitting that critical mass of farming is really fast. So even though I've been kind of fighting a whole lot, I've been able to steal a lot of their really good camps, and then at this point I'm now hitting just the normal Infernus stuff, which is you just get rich just by running around the map. So objective-wise, we're pretty much dead even on objectives. They have the same amount of walkers as we do. No one's got any guardians left. Soul lead, we do have more souls by a good chunk. So Urn isn't really all that great to run. Also, something I'm needing to, since I've come back to Deadlock in the last week or two, I'm realizing I'm having a hard time remembering when a good time to run Urn is or get a good feel for it. Because they had just started experimenting with the comeback mechanic on Urn when I left. Like, they had added it goes to the other side of the map. But it hadn't been that long. So I see that they're looking to fight on Urn, so at this point I figured I could probably get a free walker, so I just full send this walker, since I wasn't really wanting to full commit to a fight on their side of the map, and I figured I could get an objective for free. So I make that play. Looks like our team is doing 1-for-1 trades right now, but I think, yeah, it's not too bad. But I think they end up getting cleaned up. I start moving towards this in case I can help clean up, but then I start to see them start to fall down, so I just kind of keep doing my thing. Keep running around, grabbing the camps, keep looking for objectives. I see Victor ends up pushing an objective as well, so we actually come out on top of that. So it's a 3-for-2 trade. Yeah, we lose 3, they lose 2, but then we took 2 walkers, so we are way up on the macro. And they only got a little bit of souls from their thing. Someone did call that they are on mid, but at this point I'm too far away from it and I don't have dash up, so I'm not really worried about it. I go and finally spend, so I end up buying Duration and Boundless and Quicksilver Reload. I put Quicksilver Reload on the 1, which I like. It's fairly standard on Infernus from what I've seen. So I'm looking to kind of hover this fight. I'm not one to show that I'm here because I'm wanting someone else to full commit, but unfortunately I do show a little too early there, and so they back off because it seems like they're kind of scared of me. It seems they seem to run away anytime I show up, as they probably should, and just because I'm really strong right now. I'm doing a lot of damage. Anytime I get my bleed on them, they're going to be like close to half health by the time it's done. So I'm looking to start getting some damage on the on this here, the walker. Not sure what she was doing. So I'm looking to just try to get some poke and kind of mess with them. Getting that walker really, really low. As soon as it goes down, looking to finish off the McGinnis, because she's also the most rich on their team, so she is a little scary. And her turrets have been really problematic. So I go ahead and ult and then start pushing up here. My aim is terrible this game. Able to keep the proc up long enough, so he should just die to it. Yep, and he does. I'm really not worried about Shiv since I have my toxic bullets. You know, he's got the anti-heal on him constantly. And since it does percent health damage, I don't mind targeting both Abrams and Shiv because the higher health they have, the more damage it does, which is really nice. Alright, so they end up hopping on the boss. I thought this was a slightly sketch boss. I figured we could do it, but I think if we had started it fresh and the scream from the boss was still there, then that would have been sketch. They could have all full sent it, but since it wasn't, they had already started it and didn't finish it, I figured we could probably get it without them realizing, and that's exactly what happens. Alright, so into Mercurial Magnum, which is really nice for the attack speed. And then just the reload and all that. Yeah, and then plus, there's a lot of spirit in this build, naturally, that makes sense. But it's really solid. So we're sitting at 35k, so I see this McGinnis, and she realized I was there, and so I just try to full send her. But also, I'm trying not to die. I end up getting pulled down by the Phantom Strike right there. I couldn't figure out what had happened at the time, but yeah, it looks like Abrams was running Phantom Strike, I think. Yep, and I guess it pulled me out of the air because it grounds you right as I hit the jump pad. But also, honestly, that probably worked out because that was probably sketchy that I was so far up. But also, I had rejuve, so I was pretty confident. And the bag I was holding at the time wasn't too big for this stage of the game. I wasn't too worried about losing like a 500 bag. It's not that big of a deal. Obviously, it's not ideal, but it's not huge. Alright, so our team's starting to run it down far left lane, so I'm looking for this fight. I screwed up my movement here and didn't end up wall hopping as I should have. Find a kill on the Great Talon, go and stun the Shiv, but then Bebop comes in. So I'm just looking to get out of here because Shiv could probably finish me. But thankfully he was kind of went too far back, didn't realize that I was so low. Or else Shiv definitely could have hurt me. End up finding an assist on the Abrams here. Yeah, honestly, my team overall, I really wasn't there for, like, I didn't pay attention to what the Lash, Ivy, or Victor, or Calico was doing most of this game. They all seemed to be doing their stuff, so honestly, this was a solid team across the board. I never noticed anything that was like, oh, why are they doing this? So this might have just been a team diff. Yeah, because we're sitting up 20% on souls right now. Granted, we have rejuve, so that makes sense, but... So the leech is really coming in nicely. Getting back to like 3/4 health. Yep, so there's this Phantom Strike again, so I'm disarmed. So I'm just looking to stay kind of back a bit. So a nice ult from Lash. Able to follow up with a... He's able to throw him right into my Flame Dash, but then I get instantly Spirit Snared. But yeah, and then they literally just finished the patron before I even realized that they were in there. So it was just a really nice team across the board. Yeah, we'll check out stats in a moment. All right, so yeah, 13, 2, 10 assists, not bad. And then Mina, of course, with her 15 assists, 7 kills. I think most of her kills were early game, honestly. She was doing work. Probably like 3 or 4 of those were early. But yeah, and then just solid stats across the board. Mina, of course, with the highest player damage. I was a bit behind her, a good chunk. And then Ivy doing Ivy things. Lash had his nice assist. But yeah, it was just a good team all around. But yeah, I really enjoy this build. The kind of more mid-game fighting Infernus is definitely something that you don't see as often, but I really liked it. I think if we weren't able to finish right there, I was probably going to go ahead and pick up something like Ricochet, you know, just because it's always such a good item on him. But I actually hadn't really looked at what the rest of the build was, to be honest. So this is his build. This is Metro. Twitch.tv Metro. He's a good time. He mostly Wraith, Billy, and a couple other people. He's really fun to watch. But yeah, so I was about to buy Escalating Resilience, so it was starting to get a little tankier. But yeah, and then I was probably going to pick up Ricochet and Inhib, something of that sort. Yeah, and then of course the situational stuff. But yeah, super solid build. Yeah, no complaints at all. Thank you, Metro. It was really good. But yeah, but either way, thanks for watching. I'm like I said, I'm kind of coming back to Deadlock after a while, shaking the rust off. Been having a lot of fun. My peak was Ascendant 4. Currently, I'm sitting at, where is it? We're sitting at Ascendant 2 currently. But that game, I believe, was like Phantom 3 or something like that. So I still need to catch up a bit with some of these games. But yeah, but either way, thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one. Peace.